skills in thinking are actually embedded in craft. And there is a very interesting dialogue between artistic, craft-like expressions coming from really, literally the hand, and hardcore problem solving. And we cannot always point to a cerebral process. Sometimes it's a notional idea coming from a gesture somebody had coming out of the blue. And sometimes it's a process of dialogue between a hand sketching something that is somewhat ambiguous and the designer reinterpreting the sketch. Or sometimes the peers of designers reinterpreting the designer's sketch in a way that he or she never intended to. And that level of serendipity is so amazingly important to innovation. And that's something that I'm really cherishing. So the issue with design and the time frame of innovation in technology has been always a struggle. So the way for me to mitigate the risk of the serendipity or the unknown factors in the process is actually to load the process with a lot of creative, say, explosion at the beginning, trying to get as many ideas as possible at the beginning and actually try to force this serendipity, if you wish, by agitating the team and actually prodding and asking the contrarian questions. And once you do that, within very few weeks, you could understand that you reach the point of maximizing your creative potential on the problem, and then you could start building those themes that create the main alternatives, and eventually one of these alternatives is going to production. One way to create this creative chaos in the beginning is to bring a team together that is not too homogeneous. It actually has a lot of different personalities. The other way is to present the team with challenging questions that are somewhat contrarian to the brief. And sometimes it's actually humor. So we tend to use a lot of humor and we tend to joke. Sometimes are a little bit edgy jokes about the situations, and that actually loosens up people and they get more of a flow of ideas. In order to know whether you maximize the opportunities at the beginning, you have to mix a variety of ingredients. First is obviously intuition. Sometimes you need to know whether there got to be something else that we are not looking for and try to push further. And sometimes you feel content as if it's good enough. What I do in those cases when I'm getting to a junction where it's unclear whether we have maximized the creative opportunity or not is to let it go for a day or two. And it's a magical trick. You just let it simmer in your guts for a day or two and come back at it, and then you feel better whether you truly exasperated all the field of opportunities or there's still something new to look for. Speaking of opportunities in design, I think there's a great opportunity for smaller countries like New Zealand that has an amazing, authentic culture to actually go to the world stage and actually create something unique. I think what's happening today is the value of authenticity and uniqueness is going up, and that's an amazing opening for New Zealand creative culture, and harnessing it correctly could be extremely beneficial.
Unique and market-winning products of the last 2 decades, including the Fitbit, the Lytro camera and the Google Aria modular phone. I'm here in San Francisco to meet Gadi at his New Deal Design studio.
Brief problems that are very complex, so there is a sense of fear at the beginning. It's like jumping into the abyss while you're designing the parachute. I like to spread around a lot of ideas and then trying to find some order in this chaos. The interesting thing is that because of that anxiety and against it, once we find an incredible idea, there is a phenomenal elation. I call it this, white moments that you feel everything fits and it's perfect and it's amazing. So let's see how this thing works.
The kid will actually hold it like up here.
I like the fact that it actually has a little give to it, so it has a little life to it. Yeah. So is this balance of many days of either frustration or anxiety against these few hours where you feel like everything sticks and there is a beautiful idea and you are really feeling high.
Could you describe to me some of your recent projects?
We dealt in the last few months with robotic delivery. This is a new revolution of delivering packages, meals in the city through robots. We are trying very hard to make mainstream interactions meaningful for people in a good way. Dealing with technology starts to be real when you are dealing with the human emotions. Design today is very much a holistic 360-degree experience. The human interaction with the object is the anchor. Typically, people associate aesthetics with the look. But for me, it's a lot more than that. It's the noises and the feel the product has, the materiality of it. Let's try to balance humanities with functionalities. Emotional quality, humanistic values are actually just as effective and just as relevant to the functional or utilitarian values.
Hi, I'm Gadi Amit. I'm the principal designer, founder, and coffee maker of New Deal Design. We are a creative agency in San Francisco, and we design technology, objects, and experiences. In the business of technology, there's been a lot of discussion about IQ, analytical, utilitarian values, but for me, the human, intuitive, artistic values are just as important and are actually immensely beneficial to us.
Is very much important as its function.
What do you think of Dieter Rams, and what do you think of his 10 principles of good design?
And Dieter Rams has been a great influence, is one of the greatest designers of the last 100 years. I really respect him for his pursuit of what I would call, the purposefulness of the object. His focal point on trying to distill the essence of an object is a really strong fundamental. I think there is definitely a strong lineage between Dieter Rams' philosophy and ethics to, let's say, the heritage of the Bauhaus. Being at a position to improve the lives of many people in our surroundings is the focus. Design is made for people, by people. Human endeavor to make a product. And it's very important for us that everything there is related or relatable to humans. We should focus on really the betterment of mainstream society.
It's interesting to hear that your own physical activity influences your state of mind when it comes to design.
For me, that's the way I need to move. When I have a problem at hand, a lot of my distillation or finding the ideas is coming through a lot of walks or runs. I'm sure there is some connection between all the good chemicals flowing in your body when you're doing something physically. It's also part of the changing scenery. There's something about the movement of people, movement of, ships in the bay, kind of balance of that, urban cacophony against these moments of silence, if you wish.
What do you think will be the most important considerations for the designers of the future?
The biggest issue in design is not beauty or aesthetics, it's relevancy. Relevancy takes the subjective state of the human using the object and projecting it onto the object. What is this object doing for me? We should educate young designers and designers of the future to hone that sense of relevancy, and that's the critical element. I want to be known as a person who tried hard to make technology and humans work together nicely or play nice.